Hey everybody. I finally figured out how to do this. Let me see if I can clean the screen a little. Okay. I am in the back because you're not going to be looking at me tonight. You're going to be looking at some other stuff. So it's easier for me to sit here than move my computer out into the shop. So, hi everybody. I'm typing in the chat. I know there's a bit of a delay, but let me know when you can hear me. Hey from Pennsylvania. Yay. Hey from Asheville. Woodfin. Hey Kendra. Hey Kelly. Hey Michelle. Oh, good. Thank you, Kelly. I appreciate it. Hey, Cheryl. I know it's crazy back here. This is where the sausage gets made. This is my little hidey hole. This is actually the kitchen of the old house, and we use it right now for a little bit of inventory storage and printers back here, refrigerator, all of our shipping stuff, and ultimately all that stuff will move upstairs, and this will get to be a real staff kitchen, which will be good. Oh, we did have a busy week. We had a great week. Thank you. It was really good. Romy and Simona are still here in town. They don't leave until tomorrow. My voice is a little hoarse. Sorry. Lots of talking this weekend. It was fun. Yay. Thank you, Allison. I appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll chat for a few minutes till it's actually supposed to be here. And then if everybody's been paying attention, they'll be fashionably late because I usually have trouble getting logged on. Um, So we did have a workshop this week with Romy of Romys Creations and Simona of Manny Donna. And I learned something I didn't know. I think Manny Donna, the name that Simona uses, actually means from the hands of women or by the hands of women in Italian. And I did not know that. Hey, Melanie. Um, so I thought that was pretty cool name. I didn't even know that all these years, but we had a really great class. So if any of you are watching, thank you for coming. It was just neat. It was fun. And the projects, of course, were fabulous. Romy and Simona were great. And then we got to spend a little time with them here and there, but they've been busy too. It's been fun. Um, hey, Elizabeth. Elizabeth worked hard. Elizabeth has a friend here in town. Elizabeth's one of my helpers here at the shop. She's a very good helper. And she had her friend in town, but she worked the event with me, so that was good. Thank you, Elizabeth, for doing that. She's always there when I need her, which is good. Um, so yeah, it was fun. Beautiful squirrel etui from Romy of Romy's Creations. It's still out on the website. You can see it as a class. And Simona made a haunted stitching kit, which is fun. So it's got these cute little guys. So it was Halloween themed, but none of it was like, ooh, scary or wicked or anything. It was just fun, sweet fun. And we do have some kits, and sometime this week we'll put some of the extra kits up for sale. So if you really couldn't come, and I totally understand that, which is why I do this, if you couldn't come, then you have the chance to buy a kit. And if you have come to a class of ours, you know that I don't mark the class fees up. I keep the class fees as low as I can just to really cover the cost. And I choose to allow you to choose how you spend your money. So you can spend it in the shop if you find something you like, or if we give you good service, and you want to buy stuff from us, um, or not. But I'm not going to make you pay a bunch of extra money for a class. We keep our classes small. That's one thing I will say. We are not a hobby shop. We are a stitchery. We're a needlework shop, and our classes are focused on teaching. And I'm trying to avoid the glare. Sorry, mine glosses. Our classes are focused on teaching, and so we keep them small. I mean, we really don't go over 28. There was a lecture that we had one time where we had 70 people. It was the first Bristol lecture. We've had a lot of firsts, and a lot of other people are are doing some really great things with and making them bigger and probably better. And I think that's fantastic. But we had about 70 people in our biggest class, which was a lecture. It wasn't really a class, and it was a Bristol workshop with Claudia. Lots of people came for it. I think Jean Lee was here, and um, lots of folks came. It was just fun. It was neat. It was neat to have everybody here. But we, these days, and for the last few years, really top out at 28, and we usually go with 20 to 24 because we want you to learn something. If you want to, you can't. It's also very social. So it's not intense or anything. Most of them, there's one or two classes that we do. They're, a lot to learn, but most of them you learn some finishing skills. We really focus on that so that you have a beautiful project, but you also walk out knowing how to finish it. And so that's what this was with Romy and Simona. It was fantastical. And we already have next year planned. I'm just waiting to confirm that with the hotel, the dates, and then I will open that up for registration. Hey, from Gray, Tennessee. Teresa, hey. So yeah, Elizabeth's still unpacking. Yeah. Hey, Sandy. Um, Donna Gotts. Hey, Donna from Canton. Fun. I'm glad you can hear me. Yeah. So let's see what time it is. 8:03. We'll give a few more minutes. So yes, it was a really great class. And so the way we structure it is we have class, we cater in lunch, so you don't have to go anywhere for that. And we usually do a social thing on the first day. And so sometimes we have drinks and nibbles, and sometimes we bring in pizza for dinner, and we do stitch group. We almost always do stitch group. And then the next day, we finish up the class. Usually we do 2-day classes a lot. And we usually have a trunk show in there, and we run back and forth to the shop, and so it's just a whole lot of fun. So I will say, if you're seeing this week, and today is October the 19th, on Saturday, October the 25th, I think, it's posted on our website, we are closed. We are closed because I'm not here and none of my peoples are available. So just one of those weird things that happen sometimes. And I've really been holding off on hiring more staff as long as I can because the economy's kind of funky right now, as you all know. So we want to keep the people we've got happy and employed, and keep you guys happy. And anyway, we may do it next year. We'll see. But so we are not here next Saturday. So just make note. Um, just had a commercial break into the feed. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know what that was. I don't see commercials because I at home I do YouTube Premium. So I don't really see commercials unless the YouTube person like does a pitch for somebody. So sorry about the commercial thing. I'll see if I can't do something about that in the future. I don't know too much about that, but I'll see if I can fix that for you. Okay, so hey Kathy. Um so I'm going to jump over into a little PowerPoint pitch that I put together. Tonight, I am going to show you just a few things from the Scotland trip. I still didn't get every picture I had in there. I only focused on a few things. And maybe we'll do it a little more at some point. There are a couple things that I'm not going to get to show you tonight that I just love, that were treasures. So I'll probably circle back to that, but I know we've been yammering on about that for a while. Also, I want to let you know that probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, I'm going to post a video on YouTube that's going to be a trunk show video for Romy and Simona, because I took so many pictures that I wasn't able to post online, and we kept a ton of inventory from them so that you could see the model stitched, and then if there's anything you want, we'll have it for you. We do still have some of, and I know that there were issues with shipping and tariff stuff, so we do still have some of Romy's Halloween mystery kits. They're ready to ship. They're here. I'll ship them out to you. We have some really beautiful, amazing bespoke that were specially made for us witchy squirrel thread keeps. They're super cute. You'll see pictures of it. But anyway, You'll see all that in the trunk show, but I'm going to make just a special video of that. And I'm going to alert you to the fact that I do have a really old floss tube video that I made and never got finished the editing. I'm probably going to post that this week, and then I might back it up with a new one. So some fun stuff coming. And I did miss the Fabulous Friday this week because of the workshop, but we'll get that posted and out for you tomorrow too. So it'll be a fabulous Monday. We'll just pretend like it's Friday. Okay, so I'm gonna jump over to I don't know how to turn that video thing, that commercial thing off, but I'll work on that for next week. Sorry about that. Hey Ann, I'm going to jump over to my presentation, which is not much of a presentation, but so let me I'll do this. I'm going to select a tab to share. I want to share this. Okay. So also share the system audio. I think you'll be able to still hear me. All right. I want to do this. Okay. I am going to stay right here for just a minute. I'm going to look at my phone because I want you guys to tell me what you can see on the screen before I go forward. So I'm going to jump on my phone into YouTube and look at the video that we're doing and let you tell me if you can see. Oh, nope, you see me because I see me there. Okay. You should be seeing it. That's not cool. But all I see is me. So you guys see a black screen. All right, let me see what I can do here. Because that's what I see. Stop sharing. What a bummer. I spent so much time trying to make this work. Okay, let me see if I can do it. Get back to YouTube. Share the screen. Let me just share the entire screen. See if that works. Share it. Now there's lots of me. That's fabulous. Now let me get over here. And it just takes a second. I know you're seeing me in infinity. There we go. That'll work. Okay. A waistcoat. Excellent. Okay, well, let's go back a couple of pages here. Okay. Technology, right? Oh, you're gonna get to see it all. Okay. Well, you're getting a quick preview here. All right. How fun. All right, we'll start again. Let's come here and we start. Okay. Okay, when I see that you guys are back on the waistcoat, then I'll start really talking about it. Oh shoot, it changed. Man. Oh gosh. Okay. All right. So I think we're where we need to be. It shouldn't do anything unless I click, but it did. Okay, so this is a really so we went to a place called the Burrell Collection, and they have just a stunning collection of textiles and all kinds of other art. But it's Burrell Collection. You can go on to their website and you can pull up a really good um a video, I guess, presentation, really great pictures of their collection. So if there's anything here that you like, you can go out and look at their collection. I think even some of the things that we got to see in the archives that weren't out on display might be in their slideshow, basically. So this is an incredible waistcoat, circa 1615 to 1619. I'm going to look up a few things to tell you about it. Hopefully it doesn't switch on me without me switching it, but if it does, we'll deal with that. Um, and so all of these items were collected by a particular person's last name Pearl, and then they were donated with the stipulation that they had to be made accessible for everybody to really enjoy it. So this waistcoat is silk, silver, and silver gilt threads on linen, and you're looking at the front of it, and it's a Rinceau design, Rinceau, with curling stems flecked with little red stitches, and it covers the woman's waistcoat, right? The circular arrangements have been carefully placed to fit the pattern pieces, with the seams visible from the front, concealed with plaited braid stitch to match the stems. We'll see some more of that, and I've got another picture of this that's a little bit closer up. So, portraits from the period, most notably those of the extended Suffolk family, show waistcoats like this one worn with embroidered petticoats or skirts as part of lavish outfits. Sometimes they had full length, open fronted, a gown or mantle over and were finished with a delicate lace cap, a coif, or standing collar and cuffs. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. Okay, so on the left of this slide, you actually see a better, this is from the back of the waistcoat. You can see a lot more detail of the stitches. And so and look how stunning it is from the 1600s. I mean, this thing was absolutely pristine. I personally, I've seen a lot of waistcoats, a lot, but a few waistcoats in museums and in collections. This was probably the most beautiful one that I've ever seen. So if you look closely at this, you see, a beautiful moth up in the upper left. You see a caterpillar, a striped caterpillar kind of thing, and the flowers, another gorgeous butterfly on the right-hand side. I mean, this is just an absolutely stunning piece. So I hope you enjoy looking at that. So it's all, silk work on linen and perfectly fitted to the woman's body. And there was a little cap that was displayed with this. I didn't show it to you. You can see it on their website, or I might show it to you next time. But the little cap didn't actually come with this, but it was period appropriate. And it was interesting because I had a story about it where for years it had been displayed incorrectly, and they finally figured it out. Um, it is embroidered. I don't know that there were any slips on here. I think this is all embroidered onto this piece. Um, they didn't say anything about slips, and you'll see slips, which are like pieces that you embroider kind of on a frame and then attach. There could be some on here. Either way, it's embroidered, whether it's embroidered on the linen or embroidered on another piece of linen and attached. But the way they describe it, it's all embroidered on this piece of linen, and that's what it looked like. It looked like it was embroidered in place. And you can sort of see the stitches on the left-hand side on the back here, stitching it together, and it certainly looks to be embroidered in place there and not applique. Now, on the left is another piece, and I might jump out and show you this on a bigger screen at the end. I may not do it right now because I don't want to lose what we've got going on. This one might have had, and in fact, I can see that it does have some slips on it. And a slip is a little piece of fabric with the design drawn on it that you would have embroidered separately, and then you would have came back and attached it. And you can see it on some of the flowers in the diamond um, shapes. Some of those flowers have raised petals, and that's probably maybe a needle lace. I can't tell from this picture. Um, but some of those might have been embroidered separately and then reattached. And then this fabric is embroidered underneath of those oftentimes too. So this is just stunning. And I will show you a better picture of it at the end. But this was not even, we had a guided tour, and this wasn't even in the guided tour. Both of these were on display in the museum. They weren't in the back room. They were out there. Just really stunning. Yep. Okay. Let me go to the next one. This is a floral spray, and I was captivated by this. So this is circa 1650 to 1700. This was in the back room. You can kind of tell it's late. You can't really tell from this picture. This is a very close-up picture. I took so many pictures of this. Um, so this was in their private collection that hadn't been put out on display, but it is in their little book, and I think you can see it also on their like video walkthrough. But it's silk threads, metal, and leather. So this is not really a piece of embroidery. It's what we would call a posy. And so you've probably, if you've watched any of Katie Strachan's videos, you've seen some that she's made. And this is an example of one. It might have been in a casket because they did have a casket there, although this wasn't in that casket. But it might have been made to be in a casket. It's just a dainty little thing that they made. And so they would have, you can see the metal coils there that make up the leaves. And then they've used silk thread to kind of weave back and forth through the coils to create the leaf structure. And the thing that I was trying to figure out, and I asked the curator about it when I was there, and I just realized what it was when I was looking at the book, the little book that I bought before tonight. The stamen in there looked like cardstock, and I could not figure out how paper essentially had survived all this time. But the book actually said that that was leather. Those are little leather pieces that make the stamen on the flowers. And I found that fascinating because it is tiny. I mean, this whole thing is much smaller than my hand. I just took a really close up picture, a whole bunch of them. Yes, I have seen the stuff in the museum at Williamsburg. You're right, they do, Sandy, have some baskets similar to this. I've got actually really great pictures from there too. I'll show you sometime. I hope my head's not in the middle of this. It looks like on my phone my head's in the middle. I'm sorry for that. Next time I'll know that that's what's going on. Okay. So let's go to the next one. So that was 1650 to 1700. Oops. Now, this to me was the star of the show. Um, and this is a sweet bag, also in the Burrell collection. It was in the back room though. Not the back room, offside. It was completely offside. And oh my gosh, you can imagine. This is probably the most beautiful sweet bag I've ever seen. And it was in, as you can see, pristine condition. And this is how they had it displayed. They clearly are protecting it really nicely. But you can see, so it's embroidered on linen, and it's metal threads and silk threads, and it certainly does have some slips layered back on top of it, some and some needle lace, things that were stitched separately and then added back to it. And if you watched Katie's video, Katie Strachan, on her sweet purse, she and I took the same class from Jackie Carey. We were there at the same time, and these little tassels on here are kind of Katie's colors. So I don't know if she's seen this one or not, but wow, how beautiful. And it's made traditionally. Well, I mean, I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just so in awe of this thing. I love it. So the one that Katie did is very similar to this, and it's the one that, in terms of how it's structured, and it's the same one that I have to make. Now Katie changed her design on hers, but the original one that we took from Jackie Carey does have this same kind of Elizabethan scroll design on it with these beautiful flowers. And this one has 5 flowers. I didn't get to see the back of it. I don't think the back of it's in the book, but usually they are the same. But it does have that Elizabethan braid in those coils that go around it. The little tassels at the bottom are made separately and attached. And those pull things that you see at the top of it, those are probably little wooden inserts. That's what Jackie Carey's research showed. And she's got a great book out there if you're interested in sweet bags. Maybe a couple of books, but one that I got, you have to order it from her, I think, because I don't think you can get them here in the US, but I ordered mine from her. And you can also get a kit to make a sweet bag from her. And she talks about these pull handles, I forget what they're called, the tassel pieces there, but it's all so intricate. And even the lace that pulls it together. And so you do all this incredible work, and then you just kind of take oh, I forget what they're called, an awl, and you poke a hole in the metalwork and through the cloth, and you weave your pull string through there, which is kind of just mind boggling. And then you attach those ends to it. You do all this work, and then you just kind of poke a hole in it. But in reality, you don't poke through your threads. It just weaves between them. And then what you can't see much of here, which is also very amazing, is the little decoration up in the top right-hand corner and left-hand corner. I actually made some of those for my sweet bag. I have those done, those little cool looking things. Um, and that's about all I have done on mine. But I was just enthralled with this. I took a gazillion pictures of this. It is just really beautiful. It's probably one of the more beautiful ones I've seen. Sometime I'll show you some of the ones from Williamsburg. They are more antique looking, and but they're also beautiful for what they are. But they're certainly more tarnished and antique. This one just, I mean, is hardly even tarnished. Just shocking, you know. So it's just really beautiful. It's been well protected, and all the things I found that all the things that they showed us in the collection, the Burl collection, had been very well protected. They were all very beautiful and great condition. Yeah, the tassels are amazing. Okay. So this was an interesting piece. This is a falconry pouch and a glove, and circa 1600 to 1619. I'm going to show you a closer up picture of it, but it's just beautiful. So it kind of fits on your waist, or they called it on the girdle, but it fits on your waist. And then, of course, you wear the glove, and it's only one glove because if you've ever seen a falconry show, they just come to the one hand. But you can see it's got the same kind of pulled the tassels on it. It's very similar to the sweet bag in terms of how it opens and closes with those tassels. And the fact that those tassels are still there is just shocking. And so this is used to hold treats and tools that you need when you're training your falcon or when you're hunting with your falcon, because you train with it a lot and you also use it to hunt. But once it brings down its prey, it won't let its prey go. You have to trade it something. And you have to trade it something whether you're practicing with it or whether it's actually brought you something. And the only way to do that is to give it another treat that it would prefer. And you can't just take it away from it, or you kind of, demotivate the falcon. So if you've never been to a falcon show, you should see it. You should go see one. There are some bird sanctuaries that have them. And then also, if you ever get to go to the Renaissance Fair in your area, you can see a falconry show. I'm going to show you another picture of this now because you can see it closer up. So look at the embroidery on that. I mean, wow. So it's silver, silk, silver gilt on leather. And so that ground is leather. And then you've got a gold clasp at the top and glass embedded in that. And you can sort of see just right at the top where the little pockets are. There were like 3 pockets on each side of that. And so this kind of just hung on your waist. And then you had all this beautiful embroidery out to one side. And I think this was owned by a member of the royal family. I think they had traced it back. It didn't say in my book, and I honestly can't remember it from the presentation, but it might say on their website. I want to say this was King James, but I might be wrong. And so the design on it is mistletoe and brambles. I mean, just amazingly beautiful. So, and the fact that it's all survived like that, it was so pretty in person too. I hate that my head's in front of it, but you can sort of see most of it. So, just really beautiful. And the glove is just as beautiful. And if you're interested, send me a note. I can show a closer up picture of the glove too. Okay. And I didn't know how much time it would take me to get through all this. So I didn't throw much in here about the trip, but this is my friend Debbie. And Debbie was my travel buddy. And I actually have this slide out of order. But Debbie lives here in Weaverville near the shop. And she had completed one of the Crowell Work Company's kits. And so the Crowell Work Company does a lot of things where they take an antique in a historical place like a castle or a family home. It's just got a lot of textiles, and they will kind of recreate it. And they may do it in crewel, and they may do it in silk shading. They may do it in gold work, and this one was done in crewel. And so you can see Debbie holding her piece that she had finished, the Dunolly feathers. She's standing inside Dunolly Castle, which is to the right, the picture in the right. And that's the old castle. There's a newer part to it now. And she's standing in the newer part where the textiles are, beside the bed curtain that actually had those feathers embroidered on it. And I just thought that was so amazing. So she finished her piece in time to take it over there to Scotland and to actually take a picture with it in Oban at the Dunolly Castle there. So I don't know if Debbie's on tonight, but she can type in for us if she wants to anything more about that. I didn't actually get to go that day. Well, I didn't go that day. I could have went that day. I was tired. I didn't go that day because I had been to Oban before, and then I regretted it because the pictures are fantastic. So, and let's see. This is the place where we stayed. It's Stonefield Castle. It was in Tarbert, and Tarbert is a little fishing village. There's nothing too crazy fancy about Tarbert. I did take some pictures of that. You see here, there's the Scottish flag flying above it. There's some other really good pictures. I didn't have time to get in here for you tonight, but they had a piper, a bagpiper, meet us out front and play for us as we arrived and went inside the castle. Back behind it is Lake Fyne, Fyn. I mean, Loch Fyne, Loch Fyne. And it was beautiful. And so our classroom is to the back of the castle on the side where the lock was. And well, there were several. There was one, I guess, a dining area where we ate our meals, and half of that we kind of cordoned off and used it for a classroom. And you could see out, 3 sides the lock, and it was just gorgeous. And it rained a lot that week, and so one day I think we saw like 20 different rainbows over the water. It was the most rainbows I'd seen outside of Hawaii. It was really fun. These next pictures are just fun pictures. Debbie, sorry, Debbie. so um so the first one, is Debbie hanging out stitching, and they made us drink tea like 3 times a day, which is great if you like tea, and it was fine, but we ate a lot of cookies too. So this was Debbie hanging out and stitching, and I just kind of caught her in the middle and made her smile. The middle one, she did a little whiskey tasting over there, and so we posed that picture. She didn't really drink whiskey while she was stitching, but we posed that picture. So she had her stitching there, and one of her whiskeys that she tried. That last picture is kind of funny. You can see the lake, the lock behind her. But she's eating haggis, and I refuse to eat the haggis. And so that's what that picture is. Sorry, Debbie. Yes, Debbie got the award for trying the most different kinds of scotch. She only drank one a night, but she tried to make it through as many as she could while we were there. We were there for 6 or 7 days, but I don't really like scotch, so I didn't drink scotch, but I drank some wine. It was good wine. And the woman sitting beside Debbie is one of our friends from Holland. So it was a small group. It was just a lot of fun. I thought you'd enjoy that picture. And that is all that I had right there. But I want to show you, I'm going to come back. I'm going to show you um, a larger picture. Let me share my screen again. And I want to show you a larger picture of, let me get it up first so you can see it. Of that first piece that I showed you. That was, oh wow, there were some other pictures I had in there that didn't show up. I must have lost some pictures along the way. I want to show you. I want to show you the other one first. I'm gonna come back. I thought I had a longer presentation. Something happened, but sometimes things happen. It's all okay. All right, let me see if I can. I want to show you this one because it's pretty neat. All right, now I'm gonna look at my phone and see if you can see when you can see this one. This one's really beautiful. I don't know what happened to this in the presentation. It was in there. I even had a lot of things typed up about it. It's just showing you a black screen again. All right, let me go back. One day I'll figure all this out. It's a good thing I've got my phone with me. I can see what's happening. All right, let's try again. Let's share the entire screen. Maybe that'll work. It's going to look like I'm going into infinity again, but here we go. Okay. Okay. Hopefully you'll see this. There's the infinity. All right. So, and I know there's a delay. It's probably weird. Okay. So this is really also very beautiful. And this is stump work. This was in the museum on display. And it's so vibrant in person. And I didn't get a good picture of it because, they kind of had the lights dimmed. But there's a great picture of it in their video. And probably, I know there's a good picture of it in their guidebook. But in the middle of it is an oak tree. And you can see the big oak leaves. And if you look carefully, you can see a big fat acorn here. And there's a woman standing here, and she's got on a straw hat, and she has on a red petticoat underneath her gown, and she's feeding chickens. So she's throwing down chicken feed. And then I think this is some oxen underneath her. Over to the right is a shepherd. And so you just got all kinds of animals. There's a peacock down at the bottom. There's some really beautiful flowers and birds. I mean, this was also one of the more stunning pieces I saw um, in the museum. And it's a shame you can't see all the colors here, but it does have tons of colors on it. And again, I would encourage you to go to the Burrell Collection website and take a look at their pieces. Okay, let me see. Okay, so some of the large pieces, that's a good question, Kendra. I don't know about this one. This is most I feel like, and I don't know that it says in here. Let me look in the little book, and see if it says. There is professional embroidery out there. Um, and oftentimes when you had large pieces, they were made by a professional embroiderer. But this one looks more, I feel like this one is more of a, well, I don't know. So here's what it says. The charming panel features on either side of the central oak tree a woman in a straw hat with a red petticoat under her gown, feeding chickens, and a shepherd playing a pipe. It's very similar in style and subject to a panel in the Fitzwilliam Museum, which I've been to, but I don't remember seeing it, but I'm sure I did. Possibly made by the same person or workshop. So they aren't sure either. So it could be a single person and it could be a group of people. This was purchased by by Mr. Burrell in 1900. And so that's the provenance on it. So they don't really know, but very, very beautiful, I thought. All right, let me see if I can get some other pictures up here, close and personal for you. We'll see what we think about a few others. Some of them I have to kind of click through to. I'll show you the casket a little bit. I didn't get it in the presentation, but I'll show you the casket. So this is the end of the casket that's in their private collection, and you can see that it's got a really cool oak tree and a squirrel. Oh, and one of the other things I wanted to show you had two squirrels hanging on it. I don't know if you noticed them, but this is the side of the casket. I did ask her, and she did open this casket for me. I don't think it's going to let me click through the pictures here to show you the other pictures of it, though. Let me see if it will let me. Yeah. Oh, maybe it will. This I showed you. This is the one that has a squirrel hanging off of it. So it has a squirrel hanging off underneath right there. And then that's a bird over there. Really pretty. Let's see what else. Just a little bit different perspective, but you see how bright and colorful it is. Um, this was one that I really loved. And this one has a fish on it down on the right hand side, which I thought was really neat. That's not something I've seen very much of. And a three-dimensional caterpillar here. So kind of on the diamond in the lower left, right up to the upper left of it is a three-dimensional caterpillar. So that's a really beautiful piece. This is back to the falconry purse. Better picture of the full thing. Now here you can see the whole opening at the top, and you can almost see inside of it. So you see this gold loop, it hangs on kind of a belt. You see, and even that's embellished. And then inside here are the pockets. You can pull up in the drawstring, and you got the pockets with food and other tools that you might need in your, falconry. That's just a really beautiful piece. There it is with the glove. This is a piece of lace that was near the waistcoat that I showed you, and you can see how much of it there is. They've just got it rolled onto a roll, and it was really gorgeous. That's not a great picture of it. I couldn't get a good picture of it as it was behind glass, but that is an incredibly beautiful piece of probably bobbin lace. Either needle lace or bobbin lace. This is the waistcoat that we looked at. And I think that's the end of that little set of pictures. Let me see if I can get to some others. See if I can show you the sweet bag. And a little more detail. Yeah, I love this thing. I could have spent hours just looking at this sweet bag. These are just a few of the pictures I took. Just a few. There's two really famous samplers by the same person in this um, at this museum too. It's another picture of the posy. This I didn't put in the presentation. I love this bird. I took probably 25 pictures of this. This is a thimble keep, and I am in love with this. And this is the only picture I sent over to my computer for you to look at, but I am in love with this. And so if you've ever seen any of Jenny Aiden Christie's stuff, she's done a number of birds. But this thing is so beautiful from all the different sides. And it's tiny, as you can tell. I mean, the little back pocket of it just holds a thimble. And it's it's just so gorgeous. So it's gold thread, you know. Let me see if I can find the description of it in the book instead of just trying to tell you about it. See if it's in here. Um, okay, so this is circa 1650 to 1700. Silk threads, metal threads, wire, and silk. Um, a small number of novelty 17th century accessories in the shape of birds, frogs, or fruit survived. This one, shown here at larger than actual size, is like another one at the Mercer Art Gallery in Harrogate, and it takes the form of a green bird, probably a woodpecker, which is also found as a motif on contemporary samplers. It's made from corded, detached buttonhole stitch. The main body is stuffed, but the wings are made from individually embroidered feathers, blue, green, light pink, and dark pink, that have been sewn to a green drawstring bag on the back, which is just large enough to hold a thimble. I mean, I, yeah. If you're interested, I can show you a whole lot more pictures of that because I really want to make one of those. I was just like, just captivated by that thing. I just kept going back to it. Um, Okay, so what I don't have in here tonight are the samplers made by Francis Cheney from 1663 and 1664. So if you're interested in that, I can show that at another time. That spot motif sampler that we were looking at with the squirrel that hung down, um, that was 1630 to 1650. And it was just a spot motif sampler, but wow, what an incredible one it was. And then, so the falconry pouch, um, and glove was either made in England or Scotland, is all they say here. They don't say, well, let's see, okay. Um, let's go back and look at that. I don't know if I can get us back to that here. Okay, well, there's a casket. So um, I'll tell you more about that falconry thing, but they were made for James the Sixth of Scots and First of England. So it was James the First. Um, and he gave them to Sir William Pope after he visited him in Oxfordshire. That was the falconry bag and glove. So they were made for King James and then given to someone else. So look at the casket. And that's Claire and Rhonda in the background. And they're looking at the samplers. So um, let's see what else we've got of the casket. This is another side of it. And I asked her to open it, and she did. This is the picture with the squirrel and the tree and the lady. You can see the man fishing in a boat. And you can actually see the date on here, 1659, underneath the little rainbow in the clouds. And look at that beautiful sun coming down and the moth above him. Just so pretty. Okay, this is back to the spot motif sampler. Uh, there's another picture of that. Falconry bag. I think we're just going back through what we looked at before. There's a few other things that didn't make it in here yet that I wanted to show you. So maybe we'll do another one at some point, and I'll keep getting better at this. I'm going to stop the share. Well, I want to leave you with something beautiful. So let me get to something beautiful there. So another close-up view of that waistcoat from the back. Those Elizabethan scrolls and those gorgeous. I mean, honestly, this looks like it was made yesterday. It's shocking how vibrant this is and how beautiful. And it's amazing that it wasn't cut up and used for something else, that it stayed intact. Because a lot of embroidery was cut up and used for something else. But wow. This was beautiful. I've got pictures of this from every single side. So, and we can get better at it. Show you better. All right, let me stop the share. And come back to the YouTube. Okay. What is a sweet bag? That is a great question. Oh, Alice, you just woke up. All right, well, you can go back and watch it on video. That is a great question that we don't have a positive answer to. So it is an embroidered bag, and they can be different types of embroidery. Some are beaded, some are silk thread and gilt thread, metal threads on linen. Some are wool. Some are kind of flat stitches, and some are stump work. We saw one tonight that was stump work, which means it's raised up off the surface. We don't really know. There's a description of one in Queen Elizabeth the First's inventory, and it says something about, I can't remember now. The sweet bag term's a little, it may or may not be a good description. So there's a belief that they were made and then they held things that were precious, like a little book, um, like a book of days, which basically had different prayers and religious recitations in it. And they were tiny. They are very small books, especially from that time period. And the belief is that the books may have been in the bags, and the bags are made to hold the beautiful books. They've been called sweet bags because there is a proposition that they were made to hold things that smelled nice, whether it was flowers or some other kind of pomander, like a powdery substance that was infused with scent. And if you read Jackie Carey's books, she tells you how to make. There's a medieval recipe for how to make a powder like that you basically infuse the silk with, that you use to line the bag, and then it would have this sweet smell to it. And the concept is that the ladies of the court or nobility or royalty would have these bags that smelled really nice, and they would carry it with them when they went to um, worship services or to give alms to the poor, to keep the odor of the poverty around them from, bothering them, basically. And so they were called sweet bags. They really didn't keep candy or anything like that in it. It was more things they put in it that would smell good. But the more likely, um, the more likely use for them probably was to hold a treasure of some sort, because they're amazing. Every one I've ever seen is just shockingly beautiful. And I've seen some small ones like in Williamsburg. If you guys decide you want to see those pictures, I've seen some small ones that are just so delicate and beautiful. I don't know. We don't know what they were used for, to be honest. We just don't know. One of those 2 things, most likely. Used to hold They could have been used to hold alms even, which would be money that they gave to the poor. So they could have held money that was given to the poor. They could have held sweet smelling powder. And then you would have that kind of up close. Like you've seen some movies where um, maybe a priest or somebody might have a cloth up. They were holding that up because it had something sweet in it. Because the roads would have been covered in filth. There weren't great mechanisms for disposing of sewage and things like that. And so the roads, it's not the people that smell bad, it's the roads. And some of the people might have smelled bad too. They do today in some places, because there's just not always access to clean water and things like that. It's poverty. Um, so one of those things probably is what they were made for. Um, did they have special lighting? Yeah, in the museum, yeah, they do for sure. Now, when we were in the I keep calling it the back room, but it's not. It was another building. But when we were in their archives, that's what it is, where we saw some of those things laid out. Um, in that case, those things aren't usually out. They don't usually see the light of day, like the casket, the little bird, the thimble case, um, the posy, the 2 samplers. They're not on display right now. And when they're not on display, they're in archival containers like acid free boxes and cabinets. And you saw how they had all that foam around the sweet bag to protect all those delicate bits that aren't there on most sweet bags that have survived. And so, that stuff wasn't protected at the time we were in there, but we weren't allowed to touch it. And we tried not to get close enough to, you know, accidentally laugh and, put any DNA on it in any way. Um, but in the museum themselves, that's why some of those pictures didn't show up all the color. They were behind protective glass. And of course, like any other high quality museum, and it was, it's one of the best museums. It actually was awarded in 2025, this year, I think, or last year, with an award for one of the world's best museums in terms of their accessibility. And they were the most accessible museum I've ever been in. Everything was big and wide and broad, and they had elevators. You could get where you needed to go. Anybody could, and that was important. And they had a lot of stained glass and stuff in there, and just some things that I didn't get a chance to show you tonight. But if you're interested, I will do. Just really beautiful stuff. So that's a good question. You thought candy? Yeah, a lot of people do. But and Elizabeth the First loved sweets. So, um, but I think the one that was in her inventory was either, they took a log of everything that was given to her. Um, but I think they were used for something other than that. Those sweet bags are gorgeous though. And they may have just have been to show off, and they may have just carried them on special occasions. I don't know, but they're just really beautiful, and they're worth, if you ever have, you know, time, they're worth replicating and making one for yourself. So, um, any other questions? Your cat walked on the keyboard. Funny. Yeah, I saw that earlier, Sandy. Okay, well, we will have one of these next week. I'm actually traveling next week to spend some time in Madison, Wisconsin. I'll be at Spring Green with a friend, and I'm just gonna take a minute and do some stitching and some planning, and get some things done up there. The shop is open every day but Saturday of next week, or normally that we're open, to make up for being closed a little bit for this retreat that we just did. And for next Saturday, we are going to be open on Black Friday and the following Saturday, which I think is Small Business Saturday or something like that. Normally we're closed on Black Friday, but we're going to open up. We hardly ever get people through here, so if you're around, come see us on Black Friday since we're going to be open. Um, and keep an eye out on YouTube for the video for the trunk show for Romy and Simona. really beautiful, fun stuff. We had a great time. They are coming back next year, so you'll have a chance to jump in there. And if you like the kits, you'd have a chance to get a kit. If you would like a kit from this last class. And Romy's, like I said, I think we've got like 9 of those Halloween mystery packs, and I got one, and it's fantastic. So I encourage you, if you're interested in that. I don't think I have anything else to uh, say tonight. I mean, I do, I always do. I can tell you a funny little story. Um, if I can remember it all, it happened in the car. It was just really funny. Um, so Everett and I went to supper, and we were, and he always says really funny stuff. You saw the box with the squirrel on it. Yeah, yeah, I love that one. Um, we were talking about phones listening to us, and he was telling me they that we pay for that through our 911 services, and that somewhere we agreed to allow them to do that. And I was just looking at him, listening to him, and he said, he got this funny look on his face, which I haven't seen before. And he said, well, I didn't actually read all of that, because I guess he had said, I read blah, blah, blah. He goes, I didn't actually read all of that. Just like everybody else, I just clicked OK when they put the agreement thing up there. And I said, well, um, okay. And he goes, well, you were looking at me like I was full of crap that I hadn't actually read that. And I said, no. I said, that was my, I'm listening to you face. I was looking at you like I was listening to you. And he goes, oh, well, that explains it. That hardly ever happens. So that explains why I didn't recognize that look. I was like, you're such a jerk. It was really funny because he's so quick. He came back with that little retort in this blink of an eye. But I really was listening to him, but he thought I was calling him out for saying that he'd read through the whole like iPhone agreement or whatever, which none of us do. But apparently we agreed to let them listen to us for 911 purposes for some reason. But anyway, it was just really funny that he was like, oh, well, that explains it. If that was your listening to me face, you never really do that. So I was it's just hilarious how quick he is. Smart little fella. Um, all right. Well, that was my sort of funny story. It was really funny when it happened. I might not have told it good. Yes, Kelly, I will post those soiree videos for you. Sorry about that. Um, okay. Well, I'm going to sign off, and I will see you guys next Sunday, if not before. Bye.